This is the rundown presented by WrestleSTAR. We're talking about Charlotte Flair's horrible injury news that continues to come out. WWE is bringing back an old pay-per-view theme, and Mercedes Mone looks like she's not coming into AEW. All that and more on the rundown. First up, let's look at this new pay-per-view theme. Or is it? Yeah. So WWE is doing a very interesting thing regarding this. So, look, WWE has brought back pay-per-view themes for NXT for years, whether that be No Mercy, Halloween Havoc, Great American Bash, and more. In fact, on the January 1, 2024 episode of Raw, they're going to be doing the New Year's uh, Day pay-per-view event that they did years back with Day 1. And WWE is doing it yet again, but this time the main roster is getting it on SmackDown because WWE is giving talent crew off for Christmas and they taped the December 22nd episode in advance. Now, keep in mind, this part does contain a spoiler. During the taping, we had AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight come out for a segment where they made their case to face Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Eventually, a triple threat match was booked for the New Year's Revolution episode of SmackDown, where the winner would face Reigns for the championship at the Royal Rumble. Now, keep in mind that WWE held the New Year's Eve Revolution from 2005 to 2007, with the first show being headlined with a elimination chamber match with the World Heavyweight title, where Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee. We had Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Edge. Then the following year, we had John Cena versus Carlito versus Chris Masters versus Kane versus Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels in a chamber match for the WWE title, where, yes, Cena retained only for Edge to cash in his first ever Money in the Bank briefcase and win the WWE Championship. The third and final show saw John Cena successfully defend the WWE Championship against Umaga in the main event. Up next, y'all, it is Mercedes Mone. The countdown for Mone's return to the ring from injury, well, it's on. However, it doesn't appear that it's going to be happening in AEW. Mone, aka Sasha Banks, had been expected to make her AEW debut when she's back from injury, as a former WWE star was seen on camera in the crowd at All In from Wembley Stadium a few months back. It was believed at the time that she would have actually made her debut for AEW at the TD Garden Blood and Guts episode of Dynamite in her hometown of Boston, Mass, if she had not been injured during a match to crown the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Champion. She later had surgery for a broken ankle several months ago. Now, let Sean Ross Sapp, a Fightful Select, reported in a Q&A that the working plans for Mone in AEW have been dropped. He also killed a rumor that had been going around that Mone wanted big money from WWE regarding a return. This is what he had to say. I haven't heard anything lately besides that the one working plans for AEW and Mercedes are no longer working plans. Now, keep in mind that Mone actually signed on for more dates with New Japan shortly before she was injured, and when she does return to in-ring action, that will be where she is. Look, do I think that she is going to go to AEW and make her debut in the future? Yes. Do I think that she's going to return to WWE right away? No. I think it's going to take some time, and I'll tell you why. I think she wants to not only fulfill what was already originally planned for her in New Japan, I think she wanted to kind of flush that out of her system in terms of the post WWE run that she was on. She didn't get to finish that. She has goals in New Japan, obviously. I think she wants to work in AEW because I think she wants to get a few dream matches out of the way because, look, she's done everything in WWE. She doesn't necessarily need to go back to WWE. And, it's not like a Punk thing where, by God, I got a main event WrestleMania. Like, it's not that. So I think give her some time and eventually she'll make her way to AEW. But more importantly, I think in time, give her some time and she'll go back to WWE, especially with Triple H in charge. Charlotte Flair. Yeah. Her injury is much worse than we originally knew because more news continues to come out. Charlotte Flair's knee injury, and this time it comes from PW Insider, which reports that Flair's injury is likely much worse than just a torn ACL, and there were additional knee injuries sustained. Now, look, it's unclear what those additional injuries are or if it means that she'll miss even more time, despite the fact that she's looking out to be 9 months out of in-ring action with just a torn ACL following a recent episode of SmackDown where she was working a singles match with Asuka. Either way, she will not be wrestling at the Royal Rumble in January 2024, and she will not be wrestling at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. The best case scenario for the future WWE Hall of Famer is that she could be back in time for SummerSlam. Now, look, the torn ACL was rumored within WWE earlier this week, but no one anticipated that there would be additional injuries, and rightfully so. Now, Flair's surgery is reportedly slated to happen sometime around the holidays, and we obviously wish her a speedy recovery following her surgery, and we can't wait to see her back in the ring for WWE. But this is going to be a major hit for them because they're losing one of their top stars not only in the women's division, but they're also losing one of their top stars in the entire company, right? They have built around Charlotte Flair for many, many years, and she has been positioned as one of the elites, right? She's up there with your Roman Reigns, your John Cena's back in the day, right? Like she's probably within the top 3, top 5, top elite talents that they have under contract, and this is gonna hurt them. Now, luckily, they were able to get the SmackDown deal done out of the way, but they're still trying to negotiate Raw. I don't know how much of an impact that will play in those talks, but like you need all this. Here's my point: like just because she's out doesn't mean they're going to get less money. I'm not saying that. That would be a ridiculous thing to say, but I would say finally we have a trademark filing. Yeah. For Solo Sikoa. So let's get to it. So Friday's episode of SmackDown during a Bloodline segment, Roman Reigns named Solo Sikoa the tribal hair, upsetting Jimmy Uso because Solo is the heir apparent to the tribal chief in case anything happens to him. This actually led to a segment with Randy Orton, who later attempted to hit an RKO to Roman before our tribal chief escaped. Now, look, there was a backstage segment on SmackDown with the Bloodline where Roman Reigns was telling Jimmy Uso and Sikoa about how Orton needed to be handled. Reigns said that if Uso couldn't handle Orton on his own, then he could only imagine what would happen. Uso said yeet, which is, of course, the catchphrase of Jey Uso, and Jimmy backtracked with Reigns looking disgusted. Fast forward on December 15th, WWE filed a trademark for the new moniker with the United States Patent and Trademark Office for Entertainment Services, such as exhibitions for wrestling and performances by pro wrestlers. So expect WWE to nonstop say this moniker on television because they have this thing where everyone and their dog needs a nickname. Yeah. This is the rundown presented by WrestleSTAR. We're talking about Charlotte Flair's horrible injury news that continues to come out. WWE is bringing back an old pay-per-view thing, and Mercedes Mone looks like she's not coming into AEW. All that and more on the rundown. This is the rundown presented by WrestleSTAR. We're talking about Charlotte Flair's horrible injury